January feels like the off season for many gardeners, but that mindset costs people time and food later in the year. Some of your most important crops need a head start right now. What you can plant in January depends on your climate, your setup, and how early you want your food system working for you. Welcome back to Prepper's Paradigm, your channel dedicated to practical prepping and disaster preparedness. I use a computer-generated voice because my own is hard to understand due to an injury, but the advice here comes from real experience. In this video, we are focusing on January gardening for preppers and specifically what you can plant right now. We'll look at indoor starts that work across most zones, outdoor options for milder climates, and how protected growing opens more opportunities even in colder areas. Before talking about specific crops, it helps to set expectations. January planting looks very different depending on where you live in the United States. Preppers who understand their zone make better decisions and waste fewer seeds. In colder northern zones, roughly zones 3 through 5, outdoor planting stays limited. Frozen ground and short days mean most of your work happens indoors or under protection. That doesn't mean January is useless. It means this is the month where early indoor starts give you a real advantage later. In middle zones, zones 6 and 7, January opens a few more doors. Indoor planting still does most of the heavy lifting, but cold frames, row covers, and mild spells allow limited outdoor planting of hardy crops. These small early starts help spread risk and extend the season. Southern zones, roughly zones 8 through 10, stay active in January. Many cool where the crops grow well outdoors during this time. For preppers in these areas, January becomes a productive planting month rather than a planting month. No matter your zone, early planting spreads your workload, shortens the gap to harvest, and strengthens food security. The goal isn't to rush. The goal is to start smart and build momentum. Indoor planting carries the most value in January, especially for preppers. Many reliable food crops grow slowly at the start, so giving them a head start now leads to earlier harvests and stronger plants later. Onions grown from seed are a top priority this month. They need a long season, and January starts give them the time they need to size up properly. Leeks and celery also benefit from early indoor planting for the same reason. Brassicas do well with January starts. Cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, and kale all transplant well and handle cool conditions once they move outdoors. Starting them now produces sturdy plants ready to go as soon as weather allows. Leafy greens also fit well into January indoor planting. Lettuce and spinach grow quickly and can move outside early or continue producing under protection. These crops provide early nutrition and help fill gaps before main season harvests begin. Several herbs work well with early starts too. Parsley and chives grow slowly at first, so January planting gives you usable plants much sooner. These herbs add variety and value to meals built from stored foods. Indoor planting doesn't require expensive equipment. A bright window, simple lights, recycled containers, and good soil all work. The key is labeling everything clearly and keeping seedlings protected from temperature swings. Starting indoors in January builds momentum and puts you ahead of the spring rush. For preppers, that early progress turns into real food sooner. Outdoor planting in January depends heavily on climate and protection. Some preppers can sow directly into the ground, while others rely on cold frames or containers. Knowing what works in your zone helps avoid wasted effort. In southern areas, roughly zones 8 through 10, January supports active outdoor planting. Cool season crops thrive in these conditions. Carrots, beets, radishes, peas, spinach, and turnips all grow well when planted now. Onion sets and transplants also perform well and establish strong roots before warmer weather arrives. In middle zones, zones 6 and 7, outdoor planting stays more limited. Cold frames, low tunnels, or row covers open the door to early greens. Spinach, lettuce, and kale handle cold well and grow slowly through winter. In milder stretches, onion sets may go in the ground if soil conditions allow. Northern zones, zones 3 through 5, face the most limits in January. Frozen ground prevents direct sowing in most cases. Some growers use cold frames or winter sowing in containers for hardy greens, but indoor planting remains the main focus. Preparation now supports fast action when conditions improve. Protected growing expands options in every zone. Even simple covers increase soil temperature and protect seedlings from wind and frost. For preppers, these low-tech methods extend the season without complex systems. January outdoor planting works best when expectations stay realistic. Small early successes build confidence and strengthen your food system over time. January planting works best with a steady approach. Start small, stagger your plantings, and track what works in your space and climate. Early experiments teach more than rushing into large plantings that fail. Label every tray and container clearly. Short winter days and slow growth make it easy to forget what you planted and when. Clear labels save time and prevent mistakes later. Protect seedlings from sudden temperature changes. Indoor starts suffer when they move between warm rooms and cold windows. Consistent light and stable temperatures matter more than pushing growth fast. Use protection outdoors when possible. Cold frames, row covers, and even simple plastic tunnels expand planting options without expensive equipment. These tools give preppers flexibility during unpredictable weather. January planting isn't about chasing perfection. It's about building early momentum that supports food security through the rest of the year. January isn't a waiting month. It's the point where planting turns into action. Starting seeds indoors, planting hardy crops where conditions allow, and using protection wisely all help you move closer to reliable food production. Every early start reduces pressure later in the season and spreads risk across the year. For preppers, that steady progress matters more than perfect timing. If this breakdown helped, give the video a like, share it with other preppers, and subscribe so you don't miss the February planting update. You'll also find the January planting infographic and a full written guide linked in the description. Small steps in January lead to stronger harvests later in the year.